All right, players, parents, and coaches, we're back. Another opportunity to work on some movement prep stuff. Today we're going to really work kind of more linear movement, really working on your hip hinge and being explosive through the hips, working on that triple flexion, triple extension in the ankles, knees, and hips. I want to get into a little bit of ankle mobility just for as a check, a guideline, something I like to do with all my athletes. We're going to work on a lot of ground-based jumping, single leg, double leg. And then I want to do a little bit of core and then also kind of introduce a kettlebell into your training regime. Now you don't need any equipment for any of this movement prep or for the kettlebell. There's different household items you can use. We're really just trying to teach a pattern, one, and two, as an example, when we do the hurdles today, instead of we're using adjustable plastic hurdles. If you don't have hurdles, that's no problem. Take a piece of chalk, draw a line on the ground, and then just go by distance instead of height. So make the variable in your jumping today distance instead of height. Very easy way to overcome not having hurdles. So again, it's not about equipment, it's about finding drills that help you become a better athlete and improve your performance on the field. All right, so one of the things that we always like to check for is ankle mobility. Ankle mobility has a lot to do with how you're going to be able to decelerate. Some warning signs of having bad ankle mobility are, as you see an athlete decelerate, the feet will get wider. They'll get really wide out here because they can't bend in this area. And so now from this position, if I get really wide, even if I've slowed down, it's really hard to take that next step and to accelerate into another position. The other thing you'll see is as they decelerate and they keep their foot width about shoulder, they'll get up on their toes really high here because again, they can't bend down, they can't sink down with their knee. So one way to test it and stretch it at the same time is just do the old wall drill. So you put your foot up against the wall and then you push your patella tendon, your kneecap towards the outside, your pinky toe, touch the wall. If you got it, you back it up, touch the wall again. Again. You get it back as far as you can until you have to lift your heel up, which I got to do right about here to touch the wall. And this is kind of my spot now, so I'm 4 or 5 inches off the wall. I'll lean into this 10 times. Try to keep working to touch it. You do that every day, you're going to get a lot better ankle mobility, and that's going to help you as you come and decelerate to get into this position, as opposed to having to be wide with a different shin angle or having to change that shin angle by getting up on your toes. So we're going to do single leg hops. So right now we're really focusing on the idea of every time you land, it's just another opportunity to jump. Right, so we never really think about landing, except that we always want to land in a position where we can jump right back up again. So we have that triple flexion, our ankle, our knee, and our hip. Our core is tight, our arms are down here, and we're ready to jump again. So as we do these single leg hops, we're going to jump, land, reset tall. We're going to call this a counter movement jump, meaning that we're going to go through the counter movement and the movement. So it's a counter movement jump. We're going to do 1, reset, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll come back and do it with the other foot. Ready? Let's go. What do you want to go, left or right? So we use both arms. Remember, our arms are to 90. Jump. Good. Okay, so we went forward. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to stick every one, but we're going to face the camera. So we're going to go horizontal, and we're going to use that inside foot to start. So we're going to go inside. Remember, arms at a 90. We can generate a lot of force just by driving those elbows back and forward, okay? So we don't want to be flailing around over here. Everything's tight, everything's in line. We're going to jump, stick, jump, stick, jump, stick. Go. Inside.
Want me not to do either?
No. Good. Good. So the one thing that you'll see a lot of kids do is they want to bring their arms down here and out and everything. You can really, just from a movement standpoint, like if you ever watch a sprinter, they're not here. Everything's super tight and super efficient. And what we're really trying to do, especially with these young kids, is just make them understand, like, we need to maximize our efficiency. So just be here. You can do a lot of damage by just swinging your arms. Like I can keep my legs straight, just with my toe and my hip and my arm strength really drive through. Your arms are just really driving your hips through with all these motions that we make. So the next one we're doing is we're going to call these double jumps. This is like a precursor to a depth jump. For my money, the depth jump's the best thing we can do to really emphasize that changeover from eccentric to concentric. So landing and then jumping as fast as we can. So with the depth jump, we're jumping off of some sort of height onto the ground and then jumping immediately. We're just gonna mimic that with ourselves. We're gonna get up on our toes, get a little hop, and then we're gonna jump up as fast as we can. So we're gonna do a jump, we're gonna do a double jump here. So we're here, stick, reset, stick, reset, okay? Good, reset. Reset, good, use your arms. Come on, higher. There you go, good. Okay, so we're gonna bring everything together and do repeated jumps now. What we really wanna think about more than anything else is the time on the ground is minimal. So we're not landing, we're just jumping again. So the mentality is, as I come down, I'm already loaded, and I'm just gonna jump right off the ground again, okay? Let it rip. Good, everything but let's get those arms a little tighter, okay? Good. So now we're gonna go sideways, face Tom. Go. Excellent. Okay, so one thing I like to do when we train is get comfortable being uncomfortable. So generating force from uncomfortable positions. So this is something from back in the football days we used to do a lot of. Max is gonna go through. You don't need hurdles to do this necessarily. We can just do it on turf. I like using some sort of marker as a guideline because we can move these up and down as he gets better at the exercise. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna jump, somersault, and jump right up to the next one. Okay, so we're gonna do that for 4. I think we have 4 here. Let's go, Maddie. Again, the big thing is you have to set these up, but can he come right off the somersault roll, and as soon as his feet get flat in the ground, can he generate force? Because you're really gonna be down in this position where we're not used to participating in athletic activities from there. So it's different than just being in the hip hinge. You have to be able to generate force from all these different angles. Go ahead. Have hurdles, no problem. Just find something soft to land on. Tommy's gonna do the somersault and this jump, and just, you know, mentally you're trying to clear, like for you, like maybe a 2 or 3 foot hurdle. That's it. All right. So let's do 4. Straight up. Good. Let's just do 3 because you're so big. Okay, so same deal here. We don't necessarily need these hurdles, but they are a good way to kind of make sure the athlete has an idea of where they need to be spatially. So this is, we're jumping over, we're shooting through, and as we shoot through, we want to keep our hips off the ground. We're going to go right back up into a jump position, jump over, shoot through. So we only have 4 hurdles, so we're just going to do it twice. Ready, Matt? Jump, shoot, jump, shoot. Ah!
So today we'll be going to do style jumps. So what we're going to do is jump up as many styles as you can. So let's say I can jump up 3. When I land, I don't want to as much land. I just want to immediately jump again. So we're going to try to do 4 jumps in total of these 2 sets of stuff. So
all right, so we're up with our med ball ballistic throws. The first is a vertical throw. So we're gonna take those feet, screw them into the ground again, lock up that posterior chain. We're gonna get tall, swing through, straight up in the ground. Good, straight up in the air. We're gonna reset every time. So we're gonna start tall, hip hinge, down, good. Excellent, Tommy. Good. Get up on those toes. Everything's mimicking jumping. Everything's mimicking jumping. Hip hinge first. Good. So this is the same thing. We're going all the way to Tommy though, okay? So this is more like a broad jump now. I'm gonna do it. You got it. Okay, so the only thing is I want Maddie to keep his feet. I don't want me to drop back here. Keep your feet here. Just like a broad jump. So if I told you to set up like for a broad jump, you get here, right? It's the exact same movement. It's that hip hinge movement. So we're going to here, and then throw it. You're going to land up on your toes, jump forward a little bit, okay? So Start tall again. Good. Feet in the ground. Good, 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 good. Good, Tommy. Okay, again, if you have a kettlebell, fantastic. I'm kind of a new convert the last couple of years to kettlebell swings. I used to be an Olympic lift guy, and I still am, but these are great for movement patterns. They're fantastic for that transition from eccentric to concentric, and you can really start manipulating or greasing the groove with your hip hinge. So, really quickly, it's always the same start. Athletic position, feet shoulder width or slightly more. I screw my feet in the ground. Tighten up that posterior chain, bend back at the hip here, slight knee bend, have the bell in front of me. Now I'm just gonna pull the bell back and start my first swing. As I swing, I don't wanna hyperextend here. I wanna get tall, and I'm gonna stop that bell with my core. So I'm gonna keep my core tight, and as I bring it back down, I'm kind of playing chicken with my groin as you bring this down with a straight arm, back to a hip hinge and back up. Your arms are not there to lift the bell up, they're just there to hang on. We're back. And down. Maximum shot. Address so remember you're back behind the bell. Back behind the bell. Back behind the bell. There you go. Up. Don't hyperextend. There you go. Good, drop it. Go. Good. All right, first one's a suitcase carry. Biggest thing about a suitcase, we're gonna obviously switch arms after 20-25 yards. Tall, shoulders packed, chest up, neck neutral, and we wanna walk in a normal gait. So you're gonna keep that core tight. You're gonna feel that anti-extension on the other side, but we wanna keep that gait normal. And we'll turn around, go back, you go back, ready? Keep that gait normal. Bring that back arm natural.
Go.
All right, so this one is the goblet walk. So we're going to hold the kettlebell by its horns. Remember, if you don't have one of these, you can use a dumbbell, you can use a rock, med ball, really doesn't matter. So we're just going to walk. You see here, my elbows are in. It's about 2 inches off my chest. We want to really pack that core in. So think about keeping that core flexed the entire time. So this is, what is this, anti-flexion here. We're just walking straight, again, spine neutral. If it gets easy, extend it. There you go, straight towards your head. Breathe out, breathe in. Breathing's super important. Good, stop. Yep.
Go.
All right, so we got the landline squat. Down here, we're gonna hold this position, bring the bar up, and go hip to hip, hip to hip. You can add weight if it's too easy. So in the event you don't have a barbell, we can always just use a plate. So the same thing, you're gonna screw your feet into the ground, flex your glutes, squat back. You're gonna press that overhead, straight arm, hip to hip, straight arm, hip to hip. Really keeping that core tight, okay? So it's like an anti-rotation. So keep on going. So your core is stable. So now that upper torso, shoulders, arms can be mobile. Good.